What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. Not too long ago, I was either on Too Raw for Sports video and comment section engaging, or it might have been somebody else's Instagram post, but I think it was Too Raw for Sports, Too Raw for TV. Go check him out, Too Raw for Media. Best guy out here doing it. But either way, the topic that presented itself was Yao Ming or Chris Bosh. Who was better? And I quickly came to the conclusion that Chris Bosh was the better basketball player. And I had my reasons, and I gave my reasons. Then I came across one comment where the gentleman made a bold claim regarding Yao Ming. The gentleman stated that at some point in Yao's career or stretch of his career, he was the best center in the NBA. And without giving it much thought, I quickly gave pushback on that notion. I don't remember any stretch of Yao's career where he was considered the best center in the NBA. First of all, his career was short-lived due to injuries. The dude missed a lot of basketball. Even in some of his best seasons where he averaged maybe 25-9, 25-10, 23-10, things like that, the dude only played like less than 50 games. He only had, I think, 2 or 3 seasons where he actually played 80 games. Everything outside of that was 60s, 50s, 40s, 30s. You get where I'm going. You get where I'm going with this. You get where I'm going with this. That's me not even looking this stuff up because I remember that's what his career was. Like I said, the dude missed a lot of basketball. Also, if you remember, and you young folks wouldn't know this, but when he was on the floor, the man had trouble staying in the game for extended periods of time, especially early in his career with the NBA. He was not conditioned for the pace of the game, and this was back in the mid-2000s. Yao Ming was constantly and visibly gassed and exhausted from game to game. Coach had to frequently take him out to let him rest and hydrate before inserting him back in the game for another short spurt of basketball. You know how hard it was to find and maintain working lineups when one of your best players can't stay on the floor for an extended period of time? Yao Ming sure as hell was never, ever better than Shaq when Shaq was still a top center in the NBA. So that covers the first couple of years of Yao Ming's career into Shaq's Miami career. Then by the time Shaq started to phase out, Dwight Howard was in the mix, Andrew Bynum was in the mix, Amari Stoudemire was in the mix. These guys were being regarded as the best centers in the NBA at the time. And if you want to get interesting with it, if you want to consider Tim Duncan a center, which he did play a lot of center instead of power forward, despite being regarded as the best power forward in the game ever, he was at no point ever better than Timmy. But we're not going to do that. We're going to leave Timmy as a power forward because it would be inconsistent with my center and Tim Duncan takes historically. And I'm not one of those people that switch up my narratives when it's convenient for the argument. That's not me. I leave that to people like Nick Wright and the Bron Goblins. Yao was a damn good player when he was healthy and on the floor, but we didn't get to see that as much as we would have liked. Man was a traditional big, could also stretch the floor. He had a smooth little mid-range jumper, had post play, deep in the paint and in the mid-range, could fade, could use both hands as well. Not athletic by any means, as far as foot speed and leaping ability, but he didn't need to leap. The man was what? 7'5", something like that? 7'6", and could dunk the basketball off his tippy toes, if that. I do appreciate Yao as a center that understands his advantages at his size and uses that to his strengths to expose and take advantage of other teams. I mean, more centers did that back in those days anyway. He had an understanding of when to take advantage of his shooting ability, but was not settling and taking long-range jumpers frequently just because he could do it. For all you bigs with stretch abilities today, honestly, take a look at Yao. Take a look at Tim Duncan. These are the guys that could score in the mid-range, but never let that take away from what really made them effective. and used it as an attachment to their game to be able to hit those shots when the opportunities made sense. Granted, I get it, these days they're taking threes, but you get what I'm saying. The foundation of my argument is to stop taking so many jumpers and get your big ass in the paint. Sorry I went off the rails there. Always going on those RPG side quests in my videos. Here's the course correction. I don't want to hear an argument for Yao as the best center in the league because he started in a bunch of all-star games over Shaq. That was strictly due to the fact of the NBA opening the voting to other countries, expanding, and therefore Yao had his entire country of China voting for him to be in the All-Star game. That was hometown support. Didn't matter how he was playing. He could have been averaging 10 points and 10 rebounds, and he still would have nabbed that All-Star starting bid off the strength of his country. Great on them for supporting their people. I ain't hating. Those are just the facts. I think only once in his career did he play like 37 minutes a game, but for the most of his career, he was usually in the low 30s, and some seasons high 20s as far as minutes per game. It's 48 minutes in a game. What are we doing? Anyway, that's all I gotta say about it, folks. I appreciate you for stepping in. Call me out on the BS if you think I'm BSing, but I really don't believe at any point was he ever the best center in the game. Could have been. He had about 2 or 3 seasons if he played more games. Could have been. The argument could have been had. But hey, I don't think it was the case. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. Shout out to China. And I'll catch you on the next one. We out, baby.